Hey, hello everyone, Sean Symons, PPG Grandpa. Today we are looking at the Paramotor and doing a pre-check. And since I'm doing a pre-flight, I pulled this just to check it to make sure everything works. And guess what? It was frayed and it snapped. So today we're going to do a how-to fix one of these cords on a MY19 Moster 185. So this is a SkyType Angel. It really is very easy to work on the motor. We're just going to take this off real quick, the harness, so we can get access to the starter. With our harness out of the way, we have access to our starter assembly. So we're going to be using an 8mm righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, and just in case you're very, very new to mechanics, righty-tighty means that when you connect it, the top end goes to the right. Lefty-loosey means the top end will go to the left. So we're going to turn it this way to loosen this. So before we go any further, let's go ahead and look at an old one so you can actually kind of see what we're getting into. So we want to take out the screws here, but on the very bottom of this peg, you want to use a 13mm to hold this in place as you're turning the screw to undo it. So I got the 13mm holding onto that as I am breaking this free and unscrewing it. The last one here with the actual pulley on it looks like this. So you're gonna have to get your wrench somewhere underneath there to hold that steady. And you might need to finesse that in someplace. You might need to turn your wrench around the other way, depending on where you're located on the outside here. And okay, so once you break them all free, they're very easy to take out. So we're just going to take out all of these bolts, screws, whatever you want to call them. Get this one out because that pulley actually comes off of it, and there's a washer on the front and the back, so you got to be careful that you don't lose those. So let me put these over here. Let's go ahead and unscrew this. And this one, like I said, be really careful because that pulley has a washer on the outside and the inside. Let's go ahead and put this down right quick. We're going to take a look at this in just a moment, but let's go ahead and take this off so you can see what I'm talking about. So there's a washer on that side, then there's another one on this side. Make sure that you don't lose them, and this one doesn't pop off right here. So I'm just going to let it sit right there. In case you wonder, this is what the inside of your starter looks like. Those are the teeth around it. Then when you pull this, these teeth open up and grab on. Go ahead and take a look at this and replace it. So one of the things that we want to look at are these little washers here, little rubber grommets that go inside, and they look like they are okay, which is good. All right, let's go ahead and take off this rope. And as you can see, the rope ends right in here. The replacement part is M043 starter rope. And to have these little hooks will make your life so much happier. So I'm going to take this hook right here, going to get this and pull this out. There we go. This is the old one that I had when my rubber mount, the grommet thing came out. I was going to replace it, but then I noticed that I had a little wear or tear on this, and the rope itself was kind of worn out. So I figured, you know what, I'm just going to keep this as replacement parts. in the future as needed. And then I ordered a whole new assembly. But we don't need to do that since all we're doing is replacing this. So here's the old rope. I just kind of laid that down where the fray was. And I got the new one laying right next to it. We want to kind of keep the same amount of rope. We got a knot here, so I'll probably cut it right about here because I'm going to make a double knot there. And same thing here, get a little extra rope so I can make that knot. So if you decide to move your pulley from up here or wherever it is and you want it someplace else, you may want to not cut this right away. Let's go ahead and do it where we don't cut it and we just figure out how long it actually should be. And now we're just going to tie a knot. Like so. And just going to pull it through, push the knot in. Okay, so now we need to wind up the spring. And what we're going to do is we're going to take it the way that it's supposed to wind up like this, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take it and we're going to pull this way towards us. Until it doesn't go anymore, right? Then we're going to go back one revolution like that. And then starting from here, now we're going to let it wind up the cable by itself. Now we're going to take this and we're going to put this on the paramotor this way. But before we do that, let's go ahead and make sure that these are tight. Make sure that we did not loosen them up. So we're going to take our 13 millimeter, righty tighty, lefty loosey. So this is loose. And then we just want to go to the right and just snug them up. Be a lot easier. Remember, don't lose those. Set that right there. And we're going to just make sure this is tight. Okay, that's nice and snug. Put this back on. We got that right there. So that goes on first. Then that goes on there like that. That should be nice and flush. And now we're going to place that like this. Okay, on this, I want to show you something that you have to be really, really careful about. See how there's a divot right there? And then over on this side, it's nice and flat. We want nice and flat to meet nice and flat with these screws. This one, however, sheared off and left a big divot. And if you try to replace with a brand new one on something that's not flat, it's going to shear off again, and you're going to have to replace this whole thing right here, which is what I did. They came from the factory like this. Somehow it had a divot and sheared, so I had to replace it. Okay, so now that this goes back all that way, where do we want to have this? Well, it looks like this is actually going to be perfect. So we're going to put it through this pulley, and I actually replaced the pulley that was on here originally, which had a plastic rolly thing there, and it wore it out. So I got this. This seems to work great. You can find them on Amazon. They're the number 15, and they work amazing. So I'm going to put that on here, and taking it, going through there, making a knot. Now it's all set for me to be able to start it. And here's another thing that you may not know, because it's hard to know if you don't know what you don't know, is everything needs to be, when you're strapping something in on a paramotor, needs to be strapped and 3 times. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. These harnesses, they need to be going through 1, 2, and then one more time for a 3rd time at that top buckle. If you don't do it 3 times, that will slip and your harness will fall off in midair. Show you again. We can already see where I've had it set. We're going to go through once, go through twice, go back up to where, and then go up through here again for number 3. There. Now it is solid, just like these are right here. It's gone through once, twice, and then a 3rd time up, and then back around and wrapped, because that's just extra. All right, so let's see if my handy dandy job did a good job and start this thing up. Yeah, it was annoying putting this thing on the rack and tightening it all down. But you know what's really annoying is if you didn't do it and it chopped some fingers off, rehab probably would suck more. Check to make sure the carburetor goes back and forth all the way. It doesn't get stuck. Now it's locked and it's on.
Always wear hearing protection.
Well, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that bell notification. Go over to clearproptv.com. Fill out that little form and request some free stickers. We'll send you out some really cool ClearProp TV stickers, some PPG Grandpa stickers, some Dragon Camper stickers, all sorts of really cool things, even some PPGZone.com stickers. So check it out. We'll catch you next time.